Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Valkyrie and he's in the Des Moines, a tier 10 US cruiser. He's on the map Sea of Fortune, in a 3-point domination game. So it's a pure tier 10 battle, there is one submarine and one carrier. Well, and there are 2 destroyers. Now he has found a nice island here on the left side and he is dueling with a Salem. Well, I mean dueling, there are there are other ships getting involved in this. But well, I guess those 2 ships are just duking it out a bit right now. Now, of course, the thing is, the Salem is basically a Des Moines, but it has a super heal, so and I guess the radar differences are not going to make a change in this battle. Now Valkyrie is trying out armor piercing and high explosive here. I mean, getting some nice fires would probably be... Well, then again, super heal. You can just heal fire damage very easily. But, you know, it still looks like he is winning this fight. Well, or I should say his team. But there goes the super heal. Well, that's... that could be an issue. Meanwhile, the enemy has taken the B cap for free because there are no allies. And the enemy is taking the C cap because the allies over there aren't doing anything about it. To be fair though, there is a set in there, and there doesn't seem to be a friendly radar, right? So this set is going to sit in there in the smoke, hydro the entire cap, and the Shimakase can't do anything about it. So that this Shima isn't contesting it is unfortunately completely understandable.
Torpedoes to port.
Now, the gearing here on this side could definitely go into A. Salem's radar range isn't that impressive, you can easily go in there a bit, and even if you are getting a radar, you just go out, wait until it's over and come back in. This isn't going to be such a massive range that you can't escape it if you try go into the cap. Now, we have a friendly submarine trying that. And, you know, RPF just switched. RPF is pointing into a curious direction, which... is either going to be a destroyer or a submarine. What do we know about the enemy destroyers? Well, we know the set's in sea, so it's not gonna be that. I highly doubt the set has come this far that quickly. Now, the other destroyer is Shimakase, but I don't know, I think we saw some torps there earlier. Could have been the Shima. Now the thing is, RPF is only tracking a submarine when the submarine is surfaced, mind. So if this is the submarine, then it... Well, I mean, the submarine has no reason to dive right now. It's probably whatever Cap B that's coming this way. Now this is where, you know, a carrier would be very helpful. And yeah, the area is getting pinged here, so... You'd think that maybe the carrier is... paying it, but yeah, okay. Carriers are notoriously bad at map awareness, which is a shame because their class is basically built around map awareness, in a sense. But be that as it may. The friendly team only has 1 capture point, which is potentially going to be an issue. The friendly ships here... Actually, yeah, they do outnumber the enemy. I mean, we have 3 like kind of visible ships here and the enemy 2. And then there are 2 friendly sneaky ones like the submarine and the destroyer. We don't know how many sneaky ones the enemy has around. Yeah, there is the Shimakase. So, okay, now we know for sure that the submarine is the one flanking there. And it's currently like damaging that Yoshino, looks like. Now, obviously the submarine could just dive, but... So the carrier is even running away, but he still isn't trying to spot what's coming for him, right? Which, yeah. Meanwhile, Valkyrie is here behind his island, and it looks like the Shima has now decided to push far enough in to be inside radar range. We shall see how that works out for this Shima. Okay, so enemy Shimmer is trying to smoke up, yet that's not gonna work.
We've spotted an enemy submarine.
Now, oh, and he's currently radaring that submarine, because as we've established, that submarine is not diving right now.
Enemy destroyer
So,
fired.
the submarine that has been pointed out multiple times and was obviously coming this way. So what's the carrier going to do? Is he trying to intercept it? Maybe. The thing is, the submarine can just dive, right? So, actually, we don't see it, and the radar is still going. Yeah, the submarine has decided to dive already. Meanwhile, Valkyrie is getting some lovely citadels into the south, but he didn't quite finish it off. He has to be very careful because there are Thunderer and Ohio pushing in. And obviously, in your Des Moines, you'd rather not be shot at by big bad battleships. Well, we've lost track of the south. Thunderer is almost down. I think the gearing could be able to finish that off. The gearing might have a problem though if the Zao pushes him. Now meanwhile, Valkyrie is desperately trying not to go into the front guns of the Ohio. Maybe he should have stayed a little bit there on the other side of the island and helped finish off the Zao earlier. This left side is becoming very depleted on friendly ships, right? We have the carrier who is gonna get found by a submarine, I suppose. But, you know, my sympathies are limited. That carrier could have spotted the incoming submarines ages ago, and especially when the Yoshino was still there. The submarine would have dived, but, you know, it would have potentially allowed the team to do a little bit of damage to it. The Yoshino could have potentially helped sink it and prevent the carrier from getting cornered by submarine.
Enemy cruiser destroyed.
Now, Valkyrie could technically have tried to go after the submarine. The problem is that there were just always too many enemies, right? You can't just sail into the open hunting a submarine while being spotted when the battleships are looking at it. So... And Valkyrie has been rather busy with all the ships in front of him. Now the carrier is going for the Ohio. I mean, you know, when the submarine is dived, I don't think the carrier can do anything about it. Actually, do carriers have any sort of anti-submarine warfare? I don't think so. But then again, I haven't really been paying attention to carriers that much, because I don't play them. So I'm not sure how they were treated in this whole anti-submarine thing. Since hybrids don't have anti-submarine warfare, and Dutch for whatever reason, I suppose carriers probably can't do anything. The best defense that carriers have is that they basically are rather ping immune, due to how their damage con stuff works, but they can still be regularly told. So it will take the submarine a while to sink the carrier, but the carrier will go down. Unless, of course, the submarine runs out of dive capacity and has to surface. Now, it has come to Valkyrie against the Ohio. The Ohio can obviously overmatch the nose, so one good salvo of the Ohio could utterly devastate Valkyrie. It's all down to RNG here. So the Ohio showed some broadside, so he's trying to go with armor piercing. Now he's switched to explosive since the Ohio angled, and I'm not sure what the Ohio did. But it was definitely not...
The enemy team has taken the lead.
It didn't include shooting the Des Moines. I guess he wanted to shoot the carrier instead. Oh well. So, Valkyrie is trying to use his anti-submarine warfare drops there against the submarine. We'll see how that works out. Now, he does have a Hydra ready. Of course, that's... Like the thing is, right? Hydro helps you dodge torpedoes, but if those torpedoes are homing, yeah, not so much. Meanwhile, we are getting the sea cap, it looks like, which, oh no, wait, the Zao got interrupted. And that's a shame, because the enemy team is 300 points ahead and they're equal on ships. So that's an issue. Now, Valkyrie is using a Hydro, but, oh, there is the sub. So... The sub is close enough to the surface that he can be shot at. There are the torpedoes and he is pinged. He can of course damage con that ping if he wants to. And he is doing so. Now That means this salvo isn't going to farm him. But yeah, he's pinged again. But the ping was too late because the torpedoes had already passed. Now the submarine has gone down far enough that he can't shoot it anymore. But you can see the dive capacity of the submarine is depleted, right? So this is one of those scenarios where the submarine is no longer detected, right? You see he's hydroing, he's right on top of it, but you can't see it because you can't see submarines when they are fully submerged. Like if they go deep enough. I mean, why would you, right? Why would hydro spot the submarine? That's just silly. Now, but the good news is, yeah, the submarine has to come up again because as we've established, he doesn't have dive capacity. If he would have the ability to stay underwater, then Valkyrie would just be dead and couldn't do shit about it. But thankfully, because the submarine has run out of the ability to dive, it's gonna get farmed on the surface. Well, that's one less submarine.
Enemy submarine sunk.
Now, meanwhile, the friendlies have taken control of 2 caps. They are in the process of taking the 3rd. But it's 2 against 3 and the enemy have a carrier. And that's gonna be interesting. Because that carrier is going to interrupt the SAO for the foreseeable future. And the set is going to grab the sea cam. Well, I mean, it's still 5 minutes, like 45 seconds to go. So plenty of time. But, you know, points-wise, this is going to be a hard fight. And if the enemy carrier, like, sinks the SAO, that's not gonna be very good. When it comes to, like, the submarine versus the destroyer, it's... I mean... If the submarine's good, I would go so far as to say the submarine is favored in that matchup. Also, you know what, let's slightly speed this up. Valkyrie is just in the process of moving forward and getting into a position where he can do something. Oh, they found the enemy carrier. That's good news. I'm not sure why the enemy carrier is pushing at this point, because the enemy was actually looking pretty good. If the enemy carrier throws his ship away, that might exactly be what the friend is. And okay, so Valkyrie has found the set with his radar. Unfortunately for him, the set immediately, well, kind of behind this island, so he can't actually shoot it. Now the SAO is down, but the carrier is down too, right? If that carrier would have stayed away in a corner, then the SAO would still be down. Maybe it would have taken it a little bit longer, because there was more traverse for the planes. But, you know, it's only 3 minutes remaining, right? The SAO would have still died, and then the enemy would still have a carrier. And that carrier would now be harassing Valkyrie. And the enemy would have more points, so, you know. But it's always nice if the enemy just, you know, throws the game. Meanwhile, the radar has run its course, but the set is still spotted because it's on fire, so that increases its concealment. But it's going to smoke up, which is a bit of a shame. Now Valkyrie has hydro, but the destroyer was too far away to be caught in this. Honestly, why isn't he? Like, I would definitely hydro here. You would expect torps. There is the hydro. Now, of course, the set was not angled to torp when we last saw it, but it could have immediately turned and torped afterwards. The enemy carrier also still has planes in the air, the last squadron. But, you know, imagine the carrier if it had stayed away. Then we would have the same situation, just with an enemy carrier still in play. And that would mean a lot more drops. There are the torpedoes from this end. Now, Valkyrie isn't going to sit here inside this camp. He could try to cap, I suppose, it's 2 minutes remaining, but he has decided that he wants to hunt down the set. And since he is hydroed, he knew that the set wasn't that far away. Keep in mind that the set's detection is 6.1 and his hydro is 6 kilometers, so if there is no smoke in the way, if you're hydroed by the set, you can see it unless it's hiding in smoke. So Valkyrie has decided to hunt down that set. It's 1 minute 30 remaining. And the enemy does have a points lead, but that doesn't matter if they are all dead. And thanks for the enemy carrier to just throwing his ship away. This is going to be a win. Which brings us to the results, and Valkyrie earned himself 3,352 base experience. That's a lot of experience. But he did a lot of damage to destroyers and that submarine. So his total damage might have been only like 140,000, but yeah, keep in mind that he basically took out 2 destroyers and a submarine, and they don't have a lot of hit points. So there is that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you next time.